A grand jury has indicted 19 police officers in Austin, Texas, for allegedly using excessive force during Black Lives Matter protests in 2020. The murder of George Floyd sparked civil unrest. About 36 people were taken to the hospital for injuries they say were caused by police officers. The district attorney says many of those injured were innocent bystanders. But the Police Association president is calling the indictments, quote, an absolute disgrace. The mayor of Austin, Steve Adler, joins me now. Mayor, thank you so much for joining us.
Good to be with you.
So do you support the grand jury's decision to issue these indictments?
I don't know what the grand jury saw. No one does, but I respect the process. And I think now that process has to move forward.
Well, we know that the president of the Austin Police Association and the city's chief of police say they were very disappointed over these indictments. The chief of police doesn't believe the officers committed criminal violations given the crowd size and circumstances. So I guess the question for you, what comes next? Do you believe the officers will be convicted?
I don't know the answer to that, again, because we don't know exactly what it was that the grand jury saw. What I do know is this. That it was a dark day for our city. No one should be hurt when they're just merely exercising their constitutional rights. And we had people that were hurt here pretty seriously. I know that. I also know that the policy decision that the city had to use this weapon as part of crowd control in the demonstration is something that we as a city stopped after that first weekend, and I think that was the right thing to do. I wish that had been our policy going into that weekend. And in that regard, I think that the city has settled some of these cases at this point, due in part to the injuries that were sustained. We're trying to move our policing from a culture of warrior culture to a guardian culture, and we're in the middle of that process. And I think it's the way our community wants us to move forward.
You mentioned you have changed some policies. As you know, the city's also paying $10 million to two people injured by police in the protests. Both were shot by beanbag rounds. In a statement, you said, quote, our police department said right after that weekend that never again would we use such weapons for crowd control. I wish that city policy had been in place before this event. What policies are in place now?
Well, with respect to this use of the beanbag weapon or tool, that's not something that our city would use ever again in a crowd control situation. We had people that were hurt, that were bystanders, and really that can't happen.
And do you have new policies in place? What would you do differently?
I don't know exactly what that answer is, but in the successive weekends, we also dealt with large crowd demonstrations that continued, did not have the same kind of injuries. We weren't employing that tool. Ultimately, I think in a crowd control situation like this, where there are some people in that crowd that are trying to cause disturbance, in a large measure, I think the police is trying to win the heart of the other 98% of the people that are there, and that 2% is also doing the same thing. We need to act as a city in a way that helps protect and win the hearts and minds of people that are there to protest, and I think we have to do a better job of that.
Mayor, what are you doing to build a trusting relationship between the community and police today?
We're making a lot of changes in how we do policing as part of public safety. For the last 2 years, we've been involved in trying to rethink or reimagine how we do public safety in our city. We even paused the cadet school for our police officers in order to make sure that we could have a culture change in the department. We had the police chief just talking to the council the other day and saying that he thought that process was really helpful. It was a good thing we were going through, that sometimes it's easier to make a culture change with new officers than with folks that have been on the force for a long time. But we'll get there. And I think part of it begins with changing that culture. And I think what follows from that then are different actions. We're putting more dollars on mental health intervention, on EMS. We're trying to do policing in a way that not only keeps people safe, but makes sure that everybody feels safe.
Great. Austin Mayor Steve Adler, thanks so much for giving us some of your time.
Thank you.